Welcome to Darkmatterworkshop. I've been wanting to work with EVA Foam for quite a while now, so this week I made a metaphor for Games Workshop's PR department. Hi, I'm Gert, and before we get to this week's build, let's talk about our main material, EVA Foam. Plenty of colleagues have used this stuff in the past, and I can see why. It's easy to cut, easy to sand and texture, easy to glue with plenty of options. Strong yet flexible. I went looking for a source and I found cosplayshop.be, a Belgian company, and these guys have everything I need. I reached out, they sent me a bunch of stuff to play with. Foam in a variety of densities and thicknesses. Foam clay, a sculpting product that behaves like normal EVA when dry. Contact cement, now this is potent stuff, so I decanted some in a sauce bottle for ease of use. And flexi paint, or the key in making your terrain flexible. More on this later. Let's start with the first thing to do are the bases 5mm high density EVA foam. A great way to instant better looking terrain. Hot tip! Give your bases a purpose. First question is, do we really need a base? If the answer is yes. In this particular case, my bases are sidewalks, and on the other side of the wall there is debris and dirt. The walls are 1 cm thick. I want some mass to my walls. Time to draw and score some stones in the EVA foam. I used strips of 2mm thick foam for detailing at the windows and the wall, something to break up the stone patterns, add a bit of detailing. I use contact cement to glue everything together. The key to this adhesive is to apply a thin layer of glue on both halves, allow the glue to fully dry, or at least dry to the touch, and then press firmly together. This is not coming loose anytime soon. We carved a whole stone pattern in the foam, time to bring it out. Ja, dat is niveau. The heat gun opens up all the cuts we made and it seals the foam for painting. More weathering. I use a hobby knife to cut out small pieces and score the foam to stimulate cracks and tears. Don't overdo this, less is more in this case. A rotary tool with sanding bit is great if you want a smooth beveled edge. For a bit more texture on the stones, I used scrunched up aluminium foil and an iron set to the hottest temperature. Press firmly. For assembly I'm using contact cement, and even though the fumes are much less, this stuff gets you high fast. And not in a good way, like when elves take you on their spaceship and tell you how we are all basically one consciousness and there is no such thing as death. More mass. Someone once told me girth is the most important, so a layer of 2mm foam to simulate concrete and plaster on the inside of the stone wall. Simply a matter of tracing and cutting out the desired shape, gluing it into the interior wall. After connecting the wall to the base, time for another round of detailing and texturing. I cut out a bunch of cardboard windows, rocks and debris, or chunks of glued down EVA foam. Here's where the foam clay comes in handy, to make heaps of dirt, especially in the corners. Simple use of this material, but a good way to get to know the product. You can simply shape the foam with your fingers, water makes it easy to smooth out. I want a transition. Please kill me. A transition between the foam walls. First I tried fine pumice medium, way too subtle, so I added a bunch of sand and reapplied to all the appropriate places. Much better there. Groundwork, or the same aquarium sand we used previously, and 2 kinds of gravel. I just use watered down PVA glue, professional grade PVA glue, none of that white hobby glue crap, and have more than a half of the sand fall off when you start painting. Sprinkle on the materials from the large to the small, like the pastry chef sprinkling the sheet of mice over the warm, small, and indeed buttered scone. Et voila! On EVA foam you can basically use whatever primer you like, spray paint, brush on primer, gesso, whatever. However, I use the flexi paint because that's what the cosplay guys use. They go through a lot of wear and tear, sweating, some of them even pee in their costumes. I painted the entire piece with 2 thin coats and then I totally forgot I still had to do a floor, so through the power of editing, done. On with some proper. A base coat of stone grey over the whole thing. It's starting to come together, but I'm missing something right here. Get yourself a container like this, fill it up with beads, buttons and crap, so you always have little crap to glue to big crap. It's becoming a bit of a habit in this video. More textures, wallpaper, well, not actually wallpaper, paper used by the scrapbook and dollhousing community. It has great texture, plenty of prints. I went for the Blue Diarrhea. Blue Nightmare on one side and Crackle Medium on the other. 2 coats and allowed to dry thoroughly. Très important, or the Crackle Medium ain't crackling. More weathering with acrylic washes, brown, sepia, and when those are completely dry, a black wash. This step is about applying thin paints to make stuff look old, especially here. Ain't much left of these buildings. I like it dirty during this step, well, during all steps actually. And I also like to do streaking effects, top to bottom. A couple down, up to spice it up, if you will. Ivory over the Crackle Medium, and the same weathering as before, same colors, same techniques. Last painting steps before final detailing, a dry brush with stone grey, our base color, over the entire model, and then a light layer only on the top end of the building with a bit of ivory mixed in with the stone grey. Earth pigments in a couple of tones over the entire base to blend the bottom of the wall and the base together to simulate dust and dirt. Bit of black wash in all the crooks and nannies to up the contrast here and there. Final detailing, I made an air conditioning unit out of cardboard in a piece of fly mesh. Check out my previous video for some crunchy rust tips. Glued it on the wall and applied a thin electric wire painted black. And finally a broken chair, just some thin metal wire bent into shape with cardboard details and painted up. A big shout out to Fatek, Artwolf and Nick from CC Minis, my new patrons. Links below if you want to support. Every little bit helps, everything goes back into the channel. It's the circle of life, or the abyss, whatever. Check out cosplayshop.be for all your foam needs. If you like this video, you know what to do. Hit all the stuff that needs hitting. And I see you soon for a new video here on Darkmatterworkshop. Bye!